welcome back, or welcome if this is the first video that you're seeing. I'm Dakini with Green Cat Yoga here in lockdown in Southeast London. And this is just part two of introduction or backstory to kind of me, the way I teach and practice, um, how I can try to help you or the world and myself at the same time. And yeah, just going over some basics of words that will come up as we begin to practice. The next video, we will start to do some stuff together, but I just find this really helpful because yoga is quite popular and lots of different things can be meant by different people. So I just want to kind of have a baseline, that we're all talking from. So, and if you have any questions, please put that in the comments. Please also just connect through Instagram, Dakini Love Running Bear. Facebook is Green Cat Yoga. There is an event page where we have signups for information and connection for the online classes, which are Saturday at 10:15. Class opens 10:30. They're on Zoom. They're by donation, barter, and skill swap. If you have any questions about what that means, please feel free to reach out. Um, and okay, so yeah, or you can email me and subscribe here, obviously, to YouTube. Okay, so yeah, I practice and teach what is called Vinyasa Yoga. I just thought I was doing yoga for the first 10 years. Then I moved to London and I realized that there was many ways to do yoga. So for me, yoga itself is a huge word. I'm just going to try to touch on things and make this really brief. So we'll go into more depth, in that's what classes are for. That's what retreats are for. And we'll get back, we'll rebook the retreats that we had booked for spring break and summer after lockdown is finished and we know what's going on. So, okay, Vinyasa Yoga is it means, or I talk about it in the way of linking the breath with movement and body. That's it. So that can be many forms in many ways. Vinyasa is a form of Ashtanga Yoga, which I mean as the eight-limbed way. I love Patabi Joyce. I love the Mysore style. I love primary sequence, but that is not what I'm talking about usually when I use that word. So not to confuse the two, but with respect equally to both. So Ashtanga is eight limbs. So asana, the way that we're going to be using the principles in a practice online here, that's what we're doing, the body movement of the practice. That's one of seven aspects of the way that we practice. So the other limbs of Ashtanga Yoga are yamas, niyamas, asana is the third one, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So through a lifelong practice of yoga, we dip in and utilize and practice and forget and remember all different parts of those. But they're all kind of part of the same thing and leading us to the same place, which is hopefully back to ourself. And, that itself is a bit, anyway, moving on. We'll get into that deeper as well. Okay, yep, so Ashtanga is a form, to me, a form of Hatha Yoga, which is one of the paths of yoga. So there's other ways to find union, which is yoga, to find our connection, to find our way home. Bhakti yoga is one form, Jnana yoga is another form, Raja yoga, Tantra yoga, Karma yoga. I'm missing something, but they're all different ways that we can be of service and find our connection to divinity without having a particular form of God show us. So I love yoga for so many reasons because it's so deep and it's so, there's so many layers to it and accessible entries for people to jump in. Yeah, so ha to me, hatha means sun and tha means moon. So it's the opposites. There's these two opposites. And one of my teachers describes it as the hard way. Bhakti, which is the yoga of love, is actually a little bit easier in ways. Once we can surrender to love and give ourselves completely through love, like mother's love, or Mother Teresa is, it kind of is, a figure that could be seen as a karma yogi, giving herself through service and giving herself through love as it's portrayed. Amma, if you go, anybody knows Amma, the hugging saint, she's a bhakti yogi. So there's all different ways, but we are working with hatha yoga, which is the hard way because we're stubborn or whatever. We're using the body. Yeah, we're using the body to access energy points and to make a difference. So, okay, vinyasa is huge, So for me, the way that I found it easiest to teach is to kind of narrow it down, and I narrow it down by using the elements as a guide. So the Saturday class is what I call or bill a fire class. A fire class is more about creating heat, using heat. It's about letting go. It's meant to be a really fun class. It's meant to be challenging, So different things are going to be challenging to different people at different times. I try to make it a little bit challenging with fun, Don't take it too seriously, But I'm doing that on purpose, I'm using the music on purpose to get us out of our mind and into our body and into ourselves and into each other and into your breath and into your heart. So go with that. Yeah. And don't be hard on yourself if you can't do the things that I'm doing. Well, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've practiced. So, use myself or others that might be in class as inspiration or as a guide or as a questioning, sit down and watch when you want to see what other people are doing to try to get where we're going. Yeah, don't feel like you have to do everything at all. Please don't, because then I always going to keep going until you guys all stop. So just that's the way of the fire class. So fire class, we will build to have inversions. I love handstands and headstands and things like that because they're really fun. I always feel like a kid, and I think that feeling like a kid is a good thing, especially for grown-ups. So we do arm balances and things like that, but we don't start out there, like. So yeah, don't be frightened and just have fun. Do what you can. The other classes that I do, the way I do it is water class, which is more feminine. I would say more repetition, more a little bit more gentle, but not always. A little bit more receptive, a little bit about more going slower, getting into the body, taking time to really feel where the breath is going and how our muscles are and where our openness is or where our blocks are or where our fear is or where our hopes are. And using the practice and the music and each other and the breath to, move through that or deeper into that. Earth class is generally I don't use to do to music, and it's largely, if I'm not get in trouble, it is largely framed on the primary sequence, which is hard. And wonderful and an amazing practice, but it's not accessible for everybody. So Earth class, I break stuff down. We kind of break down the poses that we see over and over again in other my other vinyasa classes. Okay. Oh, there's handouts for that. I like Earth for lots of reasons. We try to do it in 6-week blocks, so we go in depth and we do repetition, and it's just a slower, more in depth way of doing the practice without music. And then air class. And air class is pranayama. So my favorite pranayamas are Kapalapati, well, Ujjayi breathing, which we'll learn and go into in the next video. And where was I? Nadi Sadhana, alternate nostril, and Kapalapati, the breath of fire, which is very cleansing and detoxifying and awakening, and Nadi Sadhana, which is very, very calming and balancing, and like you feel it within 3 breaths, and Ujjayi, which is the framework of breathing, how we go through, excuse me, go through our asana practice together. So, okay, this is getting longer than I meant, of course, sorry. Okay, so let's prepare. Yeah, what do you need to do to prepare for class? Not much. I love yoga for so many reasons, but the simplicity and the beauty of it is that anybody can, with their heart and determination, find 6 feet of space and roll out a mat or make a mat, or don't use a mat, use a blanket, use whatever you have. It doesn't matter, to just make some space for yourself. Yeah, ideally it's free and clean of distractions, but I'm going to show you. I've got 2 dogs, 3 cats, 1 son, so do what you can. I'll do what I can. And So, but you want to prepare and get comfortable. You know, I like to light incense and make it special and sacred. Whatever, however many minutes you are carving out for yourself, make it your time. It's a gift for yourself, you know. Um, so if you want to drink coffee or make some tea or some lemon water, whatever you need to feel comfortable. Don't eat too much because we will get moving, and you want the tummy free. You don't want to be too hungry that you're thinking about food the whole time. So if you need to have some fruit or juice or whatever. What else? Props. It's super simple. You know, get a mat, get a blanket, get a strap if you have one. I use scarves. I literally go to the charity shop and get a bunch of scarves and tie them up and use them for class. So it doesn't have to be fancy. You can, if you want to and have the money, great. Get all your fancy gear, and if that inspires you to be on your mat and to make it sacred, great, do that. Um, yeah, maybe a block or something, a little foam block or something. And that's it. Objections? Okay, so people hear, oh, I'd love to come to class, but oh, I'm too stiff. Oh, I'm too old. Oh, I don't feel well. Oh, I'm really sad. Or, you know, this is exactly why we do yoga, why I do yoga, why I share yoga, why I teach. I don't teach yoga because I'm comfortable people looking at me. I don't teach yoga because I'm comfortable on the screen, but I share and teach yoga because I know that it helps. I know that it has saved my life over and over again, and I have seen it help so many people. So it doesn't matter if we don't look great or we don't feel we look great or we don't feel like doing it today. Do it anyway. Do something anyway. You know, it's about making time for yourself, bringing the awareness to the breath. And honestly, as far as I'm concerned, if you do some poses, if you do 5 minutes of poses with me each day, then you're going to have an amazing head start on all the other things that you need to do. And those 5 minutes will become 7 minutes, will become 10 minutes, will become 15 minutes because your body is ready, your mind is ready, your heart is ready to do the things that you can do. Yeah. And it ripples out. Yeah. When we are happier, the energy around us, the people around us are happier, the community becomes happier because we change our perspective and the world changes around us. So, that's, I think, it. I think I've given all the blurbs I can think of. This is be twice as long as I meant, but thanks so much. Really means a lot to me that people are here and that we're together in this way, together in any way right now. We were never really disconnected, but sometimes I think we all forget. So this is a good, this time of self-reflection and I don't want to say isolation because I feel pretty connected to y'all. But you know, it's a deep time, so let's use it for the positive ways that we can and make the changes that we can. Okay, next video, we will start some practice. We'll start with doing some breathing exercises first. Okay, I love you. Until then, namaste. Have a beautiful day.